Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free, for liberty, together we always stand.
Oh, Uganda, the land of freedom.
Our love and labor we give,
And with labors all out our country's call, in peace and friendship we live.
oh Uganda, the land that feeds us by sun and fertile soils grow. For our own dear land, we shall always stand upon of our free cast ground. Oh, Uganda, may God uphold thee. We lay our future in thy hand. United, free, for
You can get your gadgets in front. One of you will help us move the gadgets, and I think could go by the youngest. Pastor, it is your responsibility to move the gadget from one end to another. The guys of Sararights TV, they have a small voice recorder here, so I think you will have to leave it because they said it's very sensitive and it's a very expensive gadget. We are doing this conference as looking at 1 hour, but I think we can do something brief. First is this team will be able to introduce. For some of you who were there during the launch of the first edition, you could have been in position to see other faces except two. So we have Professor Anguma. He has a role, and we all know him for Muni University, our only public university in Westnile. We have celebrated Jiku Robert, who has done bigger things, and is a member of the foundation, which is the mother body. We have Carol, who has actually been a brain and a person on ground. I think I would say operations manager. I work so closely with her. She has a role. We have the owners of athletics. Mr. Matua, who is with us, and is sitting in for Igama Sam, who offers technical support, and they have a responsibility, and so he will be able to share with us. The rest will come. We expect Honorable Atiku Bernard, who is a member, and he has a lot to share with us. We expect LC5 ARUA District, Honorable Dr. Alfred Okunji. So when they two come, they will also have their time. So that said, I would like to start by inviting Carol to give us, we're starting it that way. She will speak. Carol will invite Mr. Ejiku. Then we'll have Professor Anguma. Then Uganda Athletics will get in last to give us a bit of that. Then that will take us to the Q&A. But like I said, in a circumstance that we have started the Q&A, Honorable Atiku and Okonji, when they arrive, we'll sift our base a little bit, listen to them, and have a conclusive one. We are 19 minutes to 11 a.m. So that means we need to manage time well. Hopefully by about 11:30 we should be done with this. That said, my name is Tioke, your host today. Glad that you turned up in numbers. Glad that you're pushing the Westnile agenda. Thank you very much. Let's get to Carol.
Thank you so much, Tioke. My name is Caroline Badaru. Today I am here in the capacity as a board of trustees under the Westnile Education Trust Fund. The Westnile Education Trust Fund is an initiative of the Westnile Foundation, and particularly it is intervening in the education sector, the regional growth, and the education for the people of Westnile. In this press conference particularly, we are going to talk about raising funds for the marathon that is forthcoming, that was gazetted by the Uganda Athletics on the last week, on the last Saturday of December every year. We started this in December 2024 on 28th last year, and this is going to be our second run. So I want to take this opportunity that in this 45 minutes or so that we're going to be here, we are going to listen from our technical partner, the Uganda Athletics. We're going to listen to Ejiku Robert, who is going to talk on behalf of the Westnile Foundation, who is the mother of Westnile Education Trust Fund. And we're going to listen to Professor Simon Anguma, the Vice Chancellor of Moni University, on their role that they have played in the sector of education, particularly higher education in Westnile, and also Muni being the only public university in Westnile. And then we have education lovers. Honorable Atiku, who has never left the Education Trust Fund and has been actively participating, will also join us in this press conference. So I am going to welcome Ejiku Robert to tell us more about the mother of Westnile Education Trust Fund.
Thank you, Caroline. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the press. I want to welcome all of you for this press briefing. It's the launch of the Marathon 2025. I want to thank you for coming in these large numbers. That communicates to the importance of the subject that we're going to be addressing today and be running for in a month's time. So once again, you're welcome and thank you for being at this press briefing. Most of you already know me. My name is Ejiku Robert. I am the Vice President for the Westnile Foundation. Westnile Foundation is the brainchild behind Westnile Education Trust Fund. Westnile Foundation started in 2003, and in 2013 it became more intentional and registered a trust, and that trust was the Westnile Education Trust Fund. So 2013 is when Westnile Education Trust Fund was registered, and we started tackling the challenges of education in our region from that moment. So as a Westnile Foundation, we are extremely happy with the Board of Trustees of Westnile Education Trust Fund, and I sit on that board as a member representing Westnile Foundation. So I am a member of the Board of Trustees of Westnile Education Trust Fund. Carol didn't introduce herself fully, but she is also, Caroline Badaru is a member of the Board of Trustees of Westnile Education Trust Fund. So the two of us here do similar roles on the Westnile Education Trust Fund. So we're happy to be here to launch this year's marathon. And just to let you know why the Education Trust Fund, very briefly, in 2 or so sentences. We discovered that for a long time now, our education standards are going down. We are lagging behind the entire country in terms of education. In other parts of Uganda, upcountry education is picking up on quality, let alone the numbers of people who are now being educated in those upcountry locations. You go to schools in Bushenyi, you go to schools in Kabale, go to schools in Jinja. They are picking up on numbers of people they are producing and coming out of there, joining university, particularly public universities, where we know now for a fact that the standards have been high. So Westnile has been lagging behind. So when we started this initiative, we wanted to catch the bull by the horn. And the bull here was the declining educational standards. Let's attend to this problem of education. Where are we lacking most? We are lacking basically across the entire value chain, right from pre-primary all the way up to university education. So we said, where can we have immediate impact and it is felt, so that everybody else who comes in can be able to contribute to this bigger vision of the Education Trust Fund, which is educate our people in Westnile. So we started with university education. To this date, we have educated 28 people. 4 of them have not finished yet, but 24 of them have graduated. And all these people did professional courses from nursing, medicine, pharmacy, engineering. I don't think we have gotten a lawyer yet, Caroline, if I've forgotten any. But also law is among those courses that we intend to sponsor. Westnile Foundation started this arrangement largely from Kampala, and we used to have dinners in Kampala. I think we had about 3-4 dinners in Kampala, successful dinners where we would raise lots of funds which would help us sustain this program. But we said, we are alienating ourselves from the people we want to care about. So why don't we get our people involved? Why don't we make them also on this process? That is a more sustainable way of supporting education in this region of ours. So the first activity was then this last year, which was a very successful one, I must say. Caroline is going to tell us about last year and this year, how it has been arranged. So our main objectives really for the marathon are four main objectives. One, to raise funds towards this scholarship fund. That's number one. It comes through sponsorships. It comes through simply buying these kits. You are already contributing towards sustaining this program. Number two, we want people to be aware of education, that education is important. And I think that I'll not even concentrate on that now because I have the professor near me. The professor will concentrate on that. He's going to be talking about the importance of education. And the Honorable Atiku, you're welcome. Honorable Atiku too will touch on the importance of education in this region. And he particularly knows how we are lagging behind as a region in terms of job placements and so on. Those two will be concentrating on that. Our third thing is to promote talent. Westnile has been a very talented area in terms of our youth being talented in sports. We've seen our youth on the world stage in athletics. We've seen them in the world stage in football and several other sports that are not so well developed here. But athletics and football, at least that you can testify, we have been at the top as a region. So we want to promote that, and this being a run, it is going to promote our already existing talent in athletics, and we want to get people here. The fourth one looks minor, but it is important. We must exercise. It's an opportunity for us to exercise. And perhaps during this same period, we are going to be able to network. We're going to be able to network with different organizations, individuals, so that we can improve how we sustain this particular program. So when you exercise, you're going to be looking at curbing non-communicable diseases that are now so prevalent in our communities. They are so prevalent, sometimes you do not even know you have a problem. But when we do exercise, then we will be fine. So I don't want to take a lot of time. I think I've given you a background. If there are other questions that I'll need to answer, that can come at the Q&A session. So I want to give an opportunity to Caroline Badaru to just take us through the marathon program and how it's going to be organized, and a little bit about last year, so that we can be able to move forward. So I thank you very much once again for being here at the press briefing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robert, for the background to our press conference today. This is what we need to know about the trust fund, but also the upcoming marathon. That first, this is our second edition of the marathon. The first marathon was held on December 28th, 2024. And this year's marathon is going to be held on Saturday, 27th December 2025. We need to save that date. We need to mark our calendars, because I'm very sure that time has a lot of allocations, but we save the date Saturday, 27th December 2025 for this run. The marathon is going to commence and end at the open ground opposite Total ARUA Hill, and this ground is also next to the Uganda Red Cross office in ARUA City. This marathon is going to start at 6 a.m. I think the technical advisor will say the earlier the better. Okay, so we're starting at 6 a.m. and we have these race categories. We have categories of 5 kilometers. We'll have another race category of 10 kilometers. And the last race category will be that of 21 kilometers. So we have 3 race categories. That means even if you come with the children, they're able to participate in the short race categories. Now, all the proceeds from this activity shall go to support education of needy. The word needy is very important, but brilliant students in higher education institutions pursuing professional courses. I would like to explain this a bit. We have students who have obtained fairly well points. And you know, if it were not just because of money, probably they would have done professional courses. But because of the challenges of money, they would drop these professional courses and then they'll do other courses which are more generic. So we're looking at picking up those needy students and sponsoring them, offering them scholarship. And the courses that so far are on our list are pharmacy, medicine, we have engineering, we have I talked about medicine, pharmacy, engineering, and law. So you're most welcome, Chairman. So far, like it was mentioned, 28 students from this region have benefited in these courses. 24 have graduated, and some of the graduates are from Muni University. I'm proud to mention that. Maybe about the categories again, we're also having for the senior citizens, because we need to be inclusive. We're having a category of 2 kilometers for the senior citizens. That means we have four categories of the races. Our target is that over 1,500 people participate this time from the Westnile region, and it won't be ARUA City participating. It will be all the districts, all the cities, municipalities within the Westnile region participating. Our projection is that we are able to raise more than at least 50 million. You realize that the unit, the cost unit for payment of fees is almost averagely at about 30 million for you to sponsor one student. Okay, so just raising 50 million can sponsor to a maximum of 2 students, and that's why our graduation rate is a little bit low. And then we shall also be joined by the elite runners. Last year we had runners who have set world records coming to join us. I think that will be spoken also by the Uganda Athletics. It will be hinted about that. Our kits, the running kits, where now we need the contribution and the support and your participation, shall be sold at 35,000 per kit. I think we have a sample here. We have the running vests. We shall have a cap, and then we shall have a carrying bag, which will form part of the kit. Each kit goes for 35,000. Now, the proceeds from this kit is what will go to the Westnile Education Trust Fund. The kits will be available, especially in ARUA City, starting 1st of December 2025. Our selling points for these kits, so far identified, though will expand when need be, as follows. 1, we shall have a selling point at Total Energies, that is Total ARUA Hill, most commonly referred. We'll have a Capital One Lounge as a selling point. Unereko offices will also be a selling point. National Water and Sewage Corporation will be another selling point. Oak Diagnostic Center will be another selling point. We'll place another selling point at Muni University. Then another selling point will be at Centenary Bank. Other selling points will include Orasia Supermarket, and then we have Maridadi stores at Ewata. So whatever is nearest to you, and depending on the need and the feedback during sales, we'll adjust these points. We can be part of the run physically, we can be part of the run virtually, but we need to be, the most important is that we need to be counted and seen to have participated in this run. We continue to recognize our partners who are already actively supporting us in this run. We have Muni University, we have Crown Beverages, that is the Pepsi Cola, known by brand as Pepsi Cola. We have Wenireko, and you as the media, you are our partners as well. We thank you for this session, and then I think we'll get to Professor Simon. Yes.
Before Professor comes on, I think she didn't mention Westnile Golf Club.
Okay,
It's,
Westnile, where we
number
are right
one
now, Westnile Golf Club
selling.
will also be a selling point.
Maybe before Professor comes in, it would be nice to have Honorable Atiku. Then we'll have the chair. Then we'll come to his part. Professor will come in to bless it last.
Okay.
I think it will make sense. So Honorable Atiku has been one of the participants, and when we were talking about 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 21 kilometers, I was about to ask, what about the 2 kilometers that is good for people who are of my nature? So Honorable Atiku will talk to us, and then after you, the chair will also speak to us in 2 capacities, as the chair of ARUA District Local Government and as the president of the chair persons within the country. So that means he speaks for ARUA, Westnile and Uganda. Thank you, Honorable Atiku.
Thank you very much. You okay? First and foremost, I want to thank the team that is putting this together for us to mark the 2nd edition of the Westnile Education Trust Fund run or marathon. I'm happy to be part of this team right from inception, and indeed I want to congratulate the Westnile Foundation for coming up with the idea, and as we talk today, we are reaping the benefits. This is a just cause. As said, we are today marking the 2nd edition of the Westnile Education Trust Fund run or marathon. This tells how the initiative is picking pace. If the 2nd edition was not going to take place back to back, then it would be right to ask questions. But as the Westnile Education Trust Fund started, it has never skipped a year in terms of raising funds and also supporting the students that have been identified. So I want to congratulate the people of Westnile and the Westnile Foundation, together with the supporters or with the partners, for the initiative and ensuring that we continue from where we started last year. As said, last year was a great success for an initiative like this to start for the first time, and with the resources that were raised at that time, I am hoping that this time round we'll sell out in terms of the materials and also double the funds that will be raised, because the thinking is that the participation, the resource envelope, the contributions will keep doubling every other time that this run. The people of West Nile in big numbers, of course, with the acquiring the running kits to begin with, and also participating on the D-Day of the marathon. I would like to thank the Uganda Athletics Federation for gazetting for us the date that has been reserved for the Westnile Education Trust Fund run. That to us is a plus, it's an achievement. To secure a date on the calendar for this kind of run is not an easy job. So I want to thank Ndugu Chiwa and the team for ensuring that your sweat does not go to waste when you are running and representing this region at national level and international level. I'm sure you didn't anticipate that in the long run we will be reaping from that sweat. So having this date gazetted for the people of West Nile and for a just cause or a noble cause like this, we want to associate with the individuals who are working at the Uganda Athletics Federation for looking back home and having the region represented in the Athletics Federation. So I call upon everyone in West Nile, as you come for the season's holidays, please mark the date and also reserve some resource. Buying the kits is not enough. I'm sure reserving something like 100,000 to drop in the box on that day will not be too much to ask. So I want to appeal to people, that little excess cash that you can drop for this cause, please reserve it and drop it in the box on that day, so that we continue to grow the reserve. You know, a trust fund is supposed to be a reservoir. You are supposed to have enough in the bank so that you keep, enrolling or taking on new students. But as we talk, the trust fund resources is what is limiting us from expanding the offer for the scholarships. So our target is to grow the trust fund, and I would like to appeal to partners. I know there are those who have come on board, and I want to appeal to the people of West Nile to support those who are associating with this initiative. But those who are still sitting on the fence, it will be nice to see MTN or Airtel. Some of these big companies should not be hiding away from initiatives like this. You'll forgive me, I have to call them out because I am a user of MTN. I have 2 SIM cards here in my phone, Airtel and MTN. But we see them dishing out a lot of resources in causes like this in other regions. Why are they not coming forth? So I want to call out on MTN and Airtel. You are our big brands, we support you. You also support us. I'm sure this is not too much to ask for. So MTN, come out, and other big companies, please come out and associate with us. It will be nice to have a very long list of big companies associating with Westnile Education Trust Fund, especially in moments like this, which also gives back. This is a moment for them to shine. So please heed to this call and make your contribution and stand to be counted. I thank you. Thank you again, once again, media team, for always amplifying the voices that matter for just causes like this. Thank you.
Now get to the chair.
Thank you very much. My name is Alfred Okwonzi. I am the district chairman of United States of ARUA. And by the grace of God, I happen to be the Vice President for Uganda Local Governments Association as chairman of Northern Uganda. I want to say I am honored to be here on the panel this morning to talk about the World Education Trust Fund. I didn't know that such a move was here, but as a leader, I'm called upon to be ever ready like the other battery of those days. And I have to be ever ready. I must say I am happy to be part and parcel of this second edition of Westnile Education Trust Fund. This is a noble cause. As chairman of the district and also chairman of Northern Uganda, I want to say that the future of this region, the future of the nation, the future of our respective districts is dependent on the quality of manpower that we are going to produce in this region. The human resource is very, very important. That is why under the planning sector, the government of Uganda has deliberately prioritized the human capital development as a key intervention area where we are supposed to invest. And now this looks at education as being the backbone, and it looks at health as being the backbone, and the other sectors of the economy to join human capital development in this country. And therefore this is a noble cause. I must say that I am happy to be part. What I can say as a chairman, as a legitimate leader, is that this calls for a multifaceted approach. No sector must be left behind when it comes to education. When you see engineering, engineering is shining because of education. Health is because of everything stems from education. And therefore in our region, what compromises our education is number one, cost factors. Cost factor is the leading cause of defects in our education system. Cost factor. Then the second factor is learner factor. Sometimes when learner gets affected by cost factors, the learner gets demoralized. And therefore we shouldn't really create a crack in our education system in this region, because the future of our region is dependent on the human resource that we are going to produce. And therefore we must all come out in full force, in big numbers, to join in this second edition of Westnile Education Trust Fund. The run, we should all get involved. It must be inclusive, even including the persons with disability. I want to see wheelchairs, people with wheelchairs showing their concern, elderly also walking around to see that education must be supported. Otherwise, without education, we are going to be finished. The economy of this country, commonly known as the GDP, gross domestic product, is dependent on education, the human resource we produce. Why? Because if we produce educated people, they will be able to earn better paying jobs. When they get better paying jobs, there will be profit repatriation back home in form of GDP, gross domestic product, which in turn will lead to development of the country. And therefore, as leader, I must say this is the only sustainable socioeconomic transformation strategy that we need to adopt in this region, that everybody must join. The word is sustainable socioeconomic transformation. So I think education is everything. I must say, let's do this. And therefore, as a leader, I must say, it should not and must not require somebody to be begged, convinced, pleaded to join education. You can see the benefits of quality education from look of things. So today, if we are talking about this, my appeal to all other people in this region and West Nile at large, that we must join this. Nobody must be left behind. I will appeal to my district chairpersons in the respective districts of West Nile to join this noble cause at all costs with full force. The GEOs must lead must support us as much as possible in this move. The chief administrative officers must support us in this move. Even all the sectors of the economy in each of these districts must join this noble cause because of the enormous benefits we have realized from quality education. And my final appeal is we are not the only one responsible for this region. We must all have a stake. The religious leaders should come in, the cultural institutions should come in, because if we don't join hands, the future of this region may be doomed. As a chair, education is improving, but I must say it is improving quantitatively. And therefore we need to focus on the qualitative aspect of education in this region as much as possible, and therefore calls for multifaceted approach. The final appeal I'm making to is our colleagues, brothers and sisters in diaspora. Our brothers and sisters in diaspora, as we talk now, there's a meeting going in UK. Our brothers and sisters in diaspora, this must be agenda for them as they live outside this country, that they must pay back, they must pay homage to this region in terms of making it possible for academicians, those who are struggling to register performance in academics, to be supported. I rest my case for God and my country.
Let's get to Uganda Athletics. Official, there's a rebrand. They're no longer Uganda Athletics Federation. And then there's World Athletics. There's no longer the other. So we will probably be able to get their blessing. Like we said, the professor will come in just to give a wrap. We are 15 minutes away from closer, so we're managing well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Matua Jackson, a member of Uganda Athletics. We represent Uganda Athletics in our districts here, especially ARUA district, ARUA city. So, and on top, I'm a national coach also with Uganda Athletics. And we are very proud that you have been able to partner with Uganda Athletics in this. That's why it is now gazetted that every year in December you have this run. So we are really grateful to be in partnership with you people, because this is the main governing body of, see the example from Shida Leni and many others, like Achiros, who is still running so well, and Shida Leni, she's also still there, but she now has masters athletics in our country. So we encourage athletes to really do this together with education, because that is the background. So it's very, very important that they do it. And we have already come up with these categories of the run we are going to have in this marathon. Already it has been mentioned, the 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, and 21 kilometers. So it's really good. And in order to go in for this, we always advise as coaches that these people should be training in order to avoid some of those, unbecoming situations when you run. And if you, for example, like now the elderly, as we were saying, are going now on, keep training. You must keep jogging every morning. Like as coaches, I'm quite sure some of the athletes, if they are there, we meet on the road. Every morning, I'm on the road, have to be jogging. And this morning I did. I look fit. So you have to do that. We are just encouraging you people to do that. So let's prepare for that. And the elite group is, of course, I've already mentioned about Shidalen. This is one of them. And Ngai Moko. These are some of our serious athletes who were here and are now at what international level, So they will be there. That will really boost this marathon this year as well, or in this second edition. So we should really be fit, and we are grateful that this is really geared towards helping the needy. In Westnile, I'll still repeat, as Bill already said, we are really lacking behind. We are lacking behind. We are fight? Why do strikes and so forth? That is really my cry also. So let's make sure they really come out, because now these people are ready to help us. The Westnile Trust Fund is ready to help those who are needy but are doing well. So why can't you pick this chance and do well, and you get this sponsorship? Thank you so much. I'm not going to say much. We are only excited that this has come to stay. Thank you, the leadership of Westnile Trust Fund.
Well, thank you. That's from Uganda Athletics, and before we go to the Q&A, like we said, there would then be the professor coming in to put some words. But I want to say that we're doing this as Westnile. We have lactic sports that gave us maybe one public university, a public university that has done well in Muni University. And apart from Muni University perhaps being in there for us, there is an individual who has given his time to be with us. So it's very important to listen to the professor. And after the professor, then your questions could come in. Professor, it's a pleasure to have you and to share with us.
Thank you very much, our moderator. And I want to thank all those who spoke before me. They have all done well, and they have covered a lot of scope. Lost a luminary of this region, an educationist. We're talking about education, and an administrator, a person who stood for the truth and would mean what he spoke. This is the late Muse Donato Mabua, passed on at around 4 a.m. This morning. Let us join the family during this difficult moment in prayers, and pray to God Almighty that his soul rests in eternal peace. Much has already been said. I think I'll delve a lot in education in societal transformation. The bigger role of higher ed in what means. I'll summarize it just in one sentence. It prepares us. If you look left, you look right, northeast, southwest, you do not know what to do. So students are very big stakeholders in our lives as higher education institutions. So now, if our work flows well because of students, and there are impediments that prevent children from accessing higher education, and somebody comes up to address some of these impediments, this is a worthwhile initiative. And I'm now talking about Westnile Education Trust Fund. Westnile has really lagged behind in very many things. It is just because of
low levels of education. When we talk about the poverty index, we are second from behind. We only beat one sub-region, that's Karamoja sub-region. I don't know where we will be when the Karamoja sub-region wakes up and occupies the second last position. I don't know where Westnile will be. Academic performance of our schools, always second last. I hear even malaria endemicity. Oh, actually, we are last there. Our region is highly malaria endemic. Disease burden, Westnile is the second last. What do you call it? Criminality. Last week I was in Gulu. Whenever I go to a city in Uganda, I ask people, how many criminal gangs do you have? And I make an initiative to drive all along the roads and count the number of mad people I meet. And no city I have visited has surpassed ARUA city. Let us just take a walk from here to let us say Centenary Bank. We will not miss to get at least 3 mad people on the road. Is it because of the drugs, alcoholism? We are excelling in those areas. Now, education is an eye-opener that can solve this problem. Somebody comes and says, okay, let's put our hands together and send our children to school. This is now the Westnile Education Trust Fund. This is a very good initiative. As Muni University, we receive this wholeheartedly because then these people who are sent to us are our critical and key stakeholders. They are our customers. Customer number one for the university is the student. Westnile Education Trust Fund is actually promoting our business. So why should we feel cold, and why should we be onlookers and stand-bys in this genuine cause? So as a university, we support this initiative very, very strongly, and we think that we can go further than this. I received a letter yesterday from Westnile Diaspora Association of the US. They want to work together with us on researches involving the educational performance in Westnile and how we can alleviate this dwindling educational performance in the region. And I think our engagement with them should not stop at the research level. I want to interest them critically to look at the cause of and the objectives of the Westnile Education Trust Fund, so that their contribution also goes into pushing our children to school. I know in Kabale there are similar arrangements. Kabale sub-region has a similar arrangement where the Banyachigezi, is that how it is called? Banyachigezi. Sometimes they call themselves Chakabale, but I think Banyachigezi is better. Banyachigezi have a trust fund like this, and they fund students solely in Kabale University, and that's their objective. But for us, it is open. Maybe because Muni had fewer programs. Yeah. What I want to assure the public of is we are opening, we are growing. We are running 34 academic programs now, which are all accredited, and 16 more are in the pipeline. When these 16 programs become available, I think it will cover the whole scope of what Westnile Education Trust Fund addresses. So there will be no need for you to take the students from this region to far places where you will incur more expenses on accommodation and even feeding. Now there are very many students of Muni University who are they are testifying to me that actually they are going to Kampala just to look for problems. Here they can ride their bicycle to the university, come home and eat, go and attend lectures, and you get your degree at a low cost. So maybe in future we shall, as the programs grow, we'll have to sponsor these students at Mon University. The issue of poverty has really been sounded in my ears throughout my tenure at Mon University. I think this, even today morning I was on the radio talk, so this is the same thing the Wananchi, our brothers and sisters are querying. To me, it is not an issue that we should really be wasting a lot of time on. I give them one example of a person, a friend of mine who lives in Michu. This gentleman has never gone to school, but he has paid all his children up to university level. They are all graduates because he plans well. During dry season like this, he is at the valley bottoms of those streams that do not dry up. He is invested in horticultural crops, which have a very ready market. This is a person who can plan, who can see, who does not think of having come from a humble background, a poor background, then because of that I am poor. I think we need to, as Westnile, we need to wrap this off our minds. We need to really think of how we can live our lives better. We can pay our children in school so that we can be at par with other regions. Some people are paying their children in school because it's not because they are working in well-paid offices and they are highly placed in government ministries. It is the way they plan their work in their locality. Look at the Lango sub-region. Lango sub-region is doing very well because it has invested a lot in cereals. It has invested a lot in poultry. All these chicken you people eat in ARUA they come from all the way from Lango sub-region. Congo has now offered a very big market. What are we talking about in terms of poverty here? We have a very close market that has opened to us. We just pride in bringing chicken from another sub-region in order to be sold to a market that is at our doorsteps. So poverty to me is not an issue. Our people should open their eyes. They should think positively, proactively, and do something that can better the future of our community by bringing children to school. Without the education, we are doomed. This, the chairman put it rightly, we are doomed without education, because then you will not have the capacity to interpret your environment well. I always give this example for those of you who are very young. I was born in 1967 to be precise, on the 24th of December. My birthday is coming. Please prepare gifts for me. In 1970s, during the reign of Idi Amin, there was a story that there's a certain man who came from Sudan, and he has one eye, one nostril, one ear, one arm, one leg, and one side was made out of timber. He only travels at night. If he comes to your home and says Hodi, you say Karibu, all of you will just instantly die in the house. So as a result, people will go to sleep at 7 p.m. There were no these drunkards who move around all the night long making noise. And it was because of ignorance. It was because of lack of education. People could not interpret the environment well. What was happening was not that there was something like that moving around. Even some people had the audacity to say, it passed near my home, and we all kept quiet. No, there was nothing like that. All of us were stupefied by, putting a cross using us at the entrance of the home. All of us did that because we didn't understand and interpret our environment well. Education levels were low. It was just government was transporting soldiers to go and fight. They didn't want the public to be scared. They were transporting them at night. They didn't want anybody to see. So that was a propaganda. Just simple, a very simple thing, because they knew that these people could not interpret the environment well because of low education. We can do this. But now the levels have gone higher. They have gone higher as education levels are also going higher. Now, if we leave ourselves behind, we can be deceived by even a simpler thing other than this one I have revealed to you. So Moni University stands strong behind Westnile Education Trust Fund, and we will participate very actively during this forthcoming run. I want to encourage the Westnilers and even the sympathizers who may not be Westnilers to join hands with us to support this noble cause, so that our children can be in school. Thank you very much for your attention.
Well, the Westnile Education Trust Fund provide university education for less privileged students from Westnile. What are your questions?
Yeah.
And put up your hand and ask this.
Thank you very much. My name is Richard Sibuku. I work for Westnile News website. Just a simple question. Apart from this run, what other innovations do you have to maybe raise funds to support more students? Because the need from the speeches we are hearing is very high, but the resource base is very low. Thank you.
Will you direct your question to a person of your interest? Yes.
Thank you. My name is Henry Lematia. My question goes to Mr. Robert. In his communication, he mentioned that the first run was successful. How successful is it in terms of money that was collected that time? Thank you.
Yes, my name is Orak Benson Pastore. I work for Westnile TV and I run my page in YouTube. I have one concern. It may go to the person who is concerned. It's all about, yes, we have an agenda for the whole of the region of Westnile, but I would want to know from you, as the public may want to know from you, maybe in the near future, is there a strategy? Maybe we cluster these 13 districts of Westnile. Maybe we have these runs in Terego. We also cluster them together such that we have a VVD run, because I believe having it at the mother city, some of the people from Greater Mari region, maybe those ones that are very far, may not be able to have the VVD part of it.
So, Pastor, your question is that would this run be able to kind of reach every district? Can people be able to run in the districts where probably they're comfortable, so that it generates a better stuff? That's your question, right?
Exactly.
To be answered.
Yeah.
There's an
Thank you.
expert here. Lematia works with the Uganda Radio Network. He didn't mention, so I have to help him out. Yes, more questions. Let's finish the questions. The response will come. I would want to hear educational questions that are fired to Professor, because he has to be tested as well.
Thank you. My name is Samir Habib, those official names. Suso. I work for Radio Patches. I'm an educationist as well, and my question is into that regard as well. I wanted to know the difference that has been created by the selected students in terms of their performance. How impactful have they been all this while? Have they been excelling? Are they creating an impact in the society? Secondly, to Honorable Ezekiel Robert, the first edition was athletics, second edition is athletics. What other, we seem to be using sports now. Can we also use golf that you play to also raise funds, or any other sports discipline? Thank you.
Thank you, Suso. Any other? Let's finish the questions. This is a week for pushing in agenda of ending violence against women, GBV, stuff like that. Westnilers, we have ladies who are in press. Would want to hear a lady rise up and put a concern or a question, perhaps even fire Carol, because I would want to see Carol respond. Please, let's have more questions. Yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Awongo. It's not my first time attending this place. Last year we were in the Red Cross Hall, and I think we went over the same routine. I just want to inquire, are there any success stories? Has this achieved anything? Are there people that have benefited? And then secondly, I raised the concern the last time we sat. I said, yes, we can get them the education. Then what after? Unemployment is top-notch in the country. Is there an arrangement to settle them after the education? Thank you.
That's nice. Any other?
You are looking for a lady. Thank you very much. Mine is on the issue of gender. Are there specific slots for female students? And I hear this fund targets professionals, but I'm sure at the university level these are professional courses we have. Are they specific science or arts?
Who are you?
ARUA 1.
Thank you. Any other? Please, let's have the questions. Yes. Yeka, you'll have to be audible. Eh?
It's okay, thank you. Yeka Alan is my name. I wanted to understand the criteria used for selecting the beneficiaries. ILFM.
Thank you. There's a hand there.
Yes, my name is Grace Eden. I work with Voice of Madi. I just want to understand if there were challenges encountered last year during the organization of the run. I don't know.
Thank you, Grace. That's a graceful question. Let's have one more and we probably get to responses. Before we have responses, Sabir Musa has a space. He has offered the space for the team to be on his most trending X, right? Yeah, so it's a good thing. So those of you who have space, you can also let us know so we can be as good as there. Yes, final question.
Thank you so much. I'm called Sabir Ramadan for Sararights TV. I would like to have one question. It is almost relating to what the other colleague of mine asked about how successfully the last marathon has been in terms of number of students sponsored in the universities from each one of these districts within Westnile region, because it's for Westnile region, not specifically ARUA.
But surprisingly, I didn't hear anyone perhaps ask questions in regard to the elite runners that are probably going to be with us. And I didn't hear anyone complain or perhaps put some things to Uganda athletics. But it's okay. In the closing remarks, we'll probably be able to everyone probably put a few things. I want us to start from anywhere. Any one of you who would have to really respond on matters they are probably, sure of and to satisfy the media. Please, frontliners, you pick it up.
Thank you. A lot of the questions are directed towards the Westnile Education Trust Fund. So I'll give it the first bullet, and Carol will supplement, and the rest of the panel here will do the same. First, Drasmako asked about other fundraising initiatives, whether the run is the only thing. No, the run is actually just one of those that we thought should be doing two things. One, raise funds, but also create awareness of the existence of this Education Trust Fund, which is focusing on education. I'd given those objectives at the beginning. I think some of you may not have been there. We in the past, we had dinners. We were having what we call the Education Trust Fund dinners. And these dinners were mainly concentrated in Kampala. They were actually just in Kampala. I think we've had 4 dinners, and the dinners were more successful because besides contributing through a contribution towards your dinner coupon, there were personal donations during the dinners that people made. And so what the Education Trust Fund Secretariat does to follow up with them, so that we collect all these donations and have them there. In those dinners, the monies would raise cash ranged from 40 million to 150 million. There was one particular dinner which was successful, and we raised 150 million in one dinner, cash, okay, cash. And then there were many donations by way of pledges, some of which have been realized over time, and then some are still out there. So the dinners have been our main source of raising funds. Then we have what we call the Westnile night. Some of you, when you go to Kampala, at the end of the month, like this month on Friday, there's going to be a dance in Ntinda. It was something that started out of the blue. It was for us to enjoy Lingala mostly. But then we said, why don't we have a purpose for this dance? And said, instead of people just walking in and dance, drink, and so on, promote a bar, why don't we turn this into an avenue for raising funds for our education trust fund? So it now changed from just merely having fun to having that dance, and everybody goes in there and pays 10,000 shillings. You are contributing to this education trust fund. On a monthly basis, it doesn't raise a lot of money, but anywhere between 1.5 and 3 million, depending on the targeting of that period. For instance, if there's a public holiday that's going to be on a Friday, then you expect that there are going to be a lot of people who are going to come in on that Friday because they were able to travel on Thursdays. And I want to thank those coming from the Westnile region. They always make sure they attend that day. So that has been another avenue. And then there have been personal donations. Those to whom we tell our story, they just come out of on their own volition to donate to this cause. Those have been our other. We've been thinking about merchandising. During our dinners, we do actually have merchandising. Then during this run, I think there will also be merchandising, and some of the proceeds from those people who come to do merchandise during the run goes to that. So we would like you to become not only participants, but to become partners in this effort so that we can have very many avenues of raising funds. I like what Suso raised about why only athletics and not other sports, because I think football, we have golf and other things can actually raise funds there. This was just the maiden appearance into Westnile region. And that is why we are having it for the second time. The first time, I wouldn't say it was as successful as we expected, but it was a good turnout. We managed to raise, somebody asked this question as well, managed to raise 20 million shillings during the first run. This time we've raised our target up. So we're looking at 50 million shillings. So from ARUA, where next? I think the person from, somebody was talking about Madi sub-region. Would like to focus on these sub-regions we have within Westnile. Greater Nebi, Greater Madi, focus on Koboko, and probably Yumbe. We combine those two. And then Tergo Maracha and Obongi, we look at how we can best do them. But that will also require that we will have a lot of publicity in those districts to be able to get the numbers we need for that. Organizing a marathon is not a walk in the park. It's a difficult thing in terms of mobilizing people to, one, participate, two, buy these kits, and then actually make donations. But the message is going out, and I think ARUA City and ARUA District are helping us get this message across. And in the subsequent years, I'm sure we're going to be able to do this in the other sub-regions here. Someone said, what are the success stories? What difference have they created? First, I want to say that was the main reason we went for professional courses. And I want to tell you for a fact, the first 10 entrants into this scheme, scholarship scheme, were only pharmacists and doctors. The first 10 we ever had. And by the way, I should have said this at the beginning, it's not only new entrants. Sometimes we have our students here who get to the university, they're in the third year, and then they are doing medicine, and they are unable to complete because school fees has become a problem. When we advertise for this, they apply, we evaluate them, and those actually have a higher rating now that they are already in the university, and we give them scholarships to complete. And we have had, I think, about 4 or 5 of such cases. success stories. Dangote, those of you who know Dangote, the contestant, the NRM flag bearer from
Alionzi.
Yeah, Alionzi. Alionzi Lawrence. He's a beneficiary of this education trust fund. How many of you knew that? He actually wrote a whole page on X about how this has been useful. And I hope we can again involve him to continue to help us, because he's not a political figure, to help us to spread that message. Pardon?
We pray that he wins.
Yeah, we also pray that he wins, and then that'll be even a much bigger success for us as a education trust fund. Our first graduate from here was Hannah from Yumbe. He did pharmacy, and I was happy to engage Hannah with one doctor called Nelson. Dr. Nelson was working in those small islands, you know, in the Indian Ocean, and he wanted a pharmacist from Uganda to go and work. So Hannah got connected to be able to first support from a distance a pharmaceutical company there, and then also to move over. I never made a follow-up on that, but I need to find out where is Hannah now. Hannah was now set to get employed. All of them are working. The doctors are all working as we speak right now, because they are all working in the different hospitals. There are those who have come back. They came to help us promote this last year. They were here during the marathon. They told us their stories too. And we always encourage them when we have the dinners. Anyone who can make a presentation to tell us their story and how this has been able to help them will help us promote this, make this more sustainable, and then we have more benefits arising out of it. That also touches on Awongo's success stories. The sponsorship, I think I've covered that. Now, we're happy to continue to give sponsorship to university students, those who are going to university, and like Professor said, we would be happier even to give sponsorship to students who are studying at Muni. You never know, at a later date we will say all public universities in Westnile, we will be giving more sponsorship to them. Out of 10, we would say 6 will go to public universities in Westnile. Then the other 4 can be other deserving Westnilers in other universities. But we have the bigger overarching goal is that we want employability. So our focus at a certain opportune time, when more of you get on board, our focus will be also to target vocational education, those that skill people to be able to do other jobs. Okay, so we would like to focus on vocational education, but also focus on foundational education. What keeps us interested in later years when we're in school? If you are not interested at the beginning, you're going to be a dropout. There's no doubt about that. You will be a street kid, and that's not going to help us. So we need to look at what can we do. It may not be paying kids in school. It may be a program that encourages people to get kids to school. It can be a one-time, depending on the support. It can be a one-time feeding program you pilot in a particular place, and then the results you use them to be able to promote foundational education at early age, so that people are interested in education. It can be many things, including just mere career guidance, that we can support a lot of people to get in there and say, please, you need this. This is going to help us as a region. Female students, no, at the moment, female students, we do not have any special slots for female students. I think female students have had that opportunity from government and still ongoing. Here, the key thing is you're needy. You're needy. You have gotten admission into a government or a public university for a professional course, and your neediness is now, that also answers the question of criteria. Somebody asked about criteria. Your neediness is supported by letters from LC1, from a church or mosque leader, okay, a church or mosque leader or community leaders, to kind of certify that this is really needy. And then what else? What have I left out? You have admission to a public university for a professional course. Your neediness has been certified by those people I have said. you have applied within the time that was the advert ran. I think basically that. And then there is a committee which is different from the trustees board, okay? The board of trustees. There's a committee that is specifically assigned the responsibility of vetting applications that come through. I tell you what, at the beginning, very few applications will go through. People would either fall off on the admission to a public university because they have applied to KIU or have applied to Mbale or ARUA, so they wouldn't qualify in that respect. But now when this publicity kept on going on, now people apply to public universities with the hope that if I am admitted in a professional course, in according to that criteria, I can be admitted to this scholarship program. So the criteria is a very simple one. There's a different committee that looks at it. And what's the spread? Someone asked about the spread. Actually, the spread has been all over West Nile. I know there is one from Pakwach. I know there are two from Nebi. I don't know whether one is in Zombo or both of them are from Nebi. There are two from Koboko. There are two from Yumbe. And there are three from Moyo. Three from Moyo. I think one from Maracha. I don't know whether we have had one from ARUA City here. There is one also from Vura. Yes, we had one from Terego. So the spread is kind of, and that vetting committee actually looks at that as one of the other things. That if we look at our 28 beneficiaries, this is how the spread has been. So what opportunity, if there are ties, kind of the people who are applying now all qualify. Whom do you go for in terms of what you look at that spread, and then you give that opportunity to that person. So with more funds, the spread will not be our problem. We will be able to take on as many people as they apply. Like she said, 20-30 million is what we need to educate one person for a professional course. And before we admit anybody, we must be assured that when they start, we are going to see their end. Okay? We do not admit people with the hope that we will raise enough money from different activities to that. We don't admit people with hope. Once we admit, you know that the money is on our account, it's going to be able to pay for you. Because we do not want now to start negotiating with the universities that we have run out of funds, we're going to look for more. No, we would rather not admit at that particular moment. We will become a problem rather than a solution to this challenge that we're trying to address. Challenges last year, Carol was at the helm of the organization last year. I participated, but I had come on another mission, but I was not directly coordinating with them. So Carol will help me tackle the challenges of last year. But like I said, it was the first, and the numbers were few. That's already the challenge, but now we have an opportunity. And then another opportunity we have is what you are offering us. Sabir Musa, thank you so much for the offer to host us on your X space. And then Sararights TV, you are with us all this time, and we thank you for the opportunity to also feature us there. And the rest of you, actually, you have not only been, like I said, participants, you have been partners. You've been supporting us, you're giving us airplay, you're giving us, and this year, I think this press conference has been a big one. It has drawn in more people, online reporters. It has even drawn on the live TVs and so on. We might be live on one of them, maybe Westnile TV we are on. I don't know. So we thank you, the press, members of the press, because for this to succeed, it is you who can make that possible. Now, supporting this cause is really a choice that you make to do something about our declining educational performance. And now you have made that choice to support it. And I want to very, very sincerely thank you. Thank you very much. If I forgot some other things, they are going to touch on them, and then we can close this press conference later.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much, Robert. Just to supplement, he's answered quite ably most of the questions that have been raised. But just to supplement, one out of the 28 beneficiaries, we have about 7 female. One of the doctors, Dr. Nancy, works in Kuluva Hospital, and especially for the set of the medical personnel, the nurses, the doctors, the pharmacists, they have offered during this second run their services a week-long health camp. And I think from there we could also pick many more success stories. For those who know Amatualu Pharmacy, actually our first, Baba Hanan, worked in that pharmacy before being connected to other jobs. So that's quite a success for us. For the sales and for the participations of other districts, last year we actually had one of the beneficiaries, Jonathan. Jonathan took over 30 kits that he was able to sell in Moyo, Adjumani. So we're hoping that because of the diversity in the beneficiaries, we're able to engage them this time, because now they're formed sort of like an association. They're looking forward to the sustainability of the Westnile Education Trust Fund, and we're hoping that because they come from the various districts in Westnile, they're also able to take kits. And you remember we had indicated, maybe you may not be able to run physically in ARUA, but you can run virtually and you can be associated. We have even people from Rwanda who have bought kits, over 50 kits for the entire village. We have one sponsor who did that. So the will
Basil,
is very important. Yes, Basil Borua. He bought kits for his entire village. The will is very important. The mode of participation, you can even moral boost. You're going to be following the spaces, the online or virtual communications. So you can participate in that way. Now, I want to take us to why we decided now to come to ARUA. You remember, all these years, ARUA has been benefiting, not ARUA, but Westnile has been benefiting, but most of the activities took place in Kampala. Okay? So by domesticating some of the activities in ARUA, we're getting the visibility. I must confess, and it came out so clearly, that actually people knew that there was a run on that very day of a run. So we began early. It is 1 month. We're going to continue with this pace of visibility, reaching out to different forums, engaging different people. You remember we had the chairperson for the district chairs of Westnile. Dr. Alfred is going to help us link to the various districts, and that will be his input, so that at least this information reaches to as many people as possible. So besides the moderate turnout of participants last year, we're hoping that we can improve. That's why we've raised our targets from 20 million that we could realize within the efforts that we placed last year. We raised it to 50 million, but above all, we're going to create as much awareness as possible before we reach to the D-date. I thought that those could be some of the points that I could add to the communication of my brother.
Any other responses on Robatiku, Professor, and
then
Uganda Athletics?
For the media, I have some information, probably the written media, of the beneficiaries, the districts that they came from, and what is their status as of date. Some of them graduated, some of them are still ongoing students. We could provide that information still.
I'll share it with you. I already have it,
yes,
so that we save time. Let's get to maybe Matua. If there are things you feel are valid, because somebody said, why athletics? Why did they choose your sport, not football? You can respond to that.
Yes, athletics has been chosen because it involves many. Say like running the marathon. It involves, in fact, the whole city, the whole district. People can come and do that run. So, other than football will just require very few people, teamwork. But for this athletics, it is for all. You can walk, you can run. So I think it is just fun. So I think athletics has been chosen because of that, I would believe.
Your closing remarks as well.
Yeah, I would like to now thank the Westnile Trust Fund for this partnership with the Uganda Athletics. And we know that you're part of us already, or we're together. This association will go on. And we want to thank also, I want to thank, or give my word to the athletes, especially those active athletes. Let them come up and take up this challenge and get sponsored in this noble cause. So I think that is my word. That's a call to all students in our region. They should be able to take up this.
Let's
Thank
get
you.
to Honorable Atiku. Your responses, your closing remarks as well. Somebody can help us move that. In record, me and Honorable Atiku organized Westnile Night in ARUA on the day of the run. We danced, we slept, and I think this year we can realize something because we'll be celebrating Professor. You'll be turning into a new year. So Atiku, I think we need to plan that better because we said it, we should do it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think most of the questions have been adequately responded to, and I want to thank Ejiku, Caro, and Mr. Kiwa. Mine is to continue making the appeal, and also maybe to pick out one of the challenges that we faced in the last run. In as far as the political leadership in the region is concerned, the turn-up was very miserable, and yet we expected people like us who are in the political arena to use our clout to mobilize our followers or our supporters. I'm happy this time round it is happening during a political season. So we will also use this as a mileage and want to appeal to all the political leaders to use the Westnile Education Trust Fund marathon in their constituencies, and of course mobilize resources during this moment. Now for those within ARUA, let me say, like for IVE West, we have 6 contestants for the position of Member of Parliament. And I want to appeal to all of them to join me during this run. On that day, we should suspend all campaign activities and ensure that we are here in town and run for this just cause. We can grow this fund far more than what it is now. So don't come asking questions, how many people have been sponsored so far from my constituency and this and that. No. Once a doctor is educated and is employed or is deployed here in ARUA Regional Referral Hospital, he will not be only attending to people from your constituency. He will be attending to patients. And therefore, I would like our political colleagues to use their good offices for moments like this, and hopefully those who will take up the challenge will also succeed in January when the time of elections comes in. But above all, it's a just cause, and therefore let's stand up and participate. I think what Chairman LC5 also raised here was very crucial. The appeal actually goes to all the local governments in West Nile. We like to see on a day like this, if it is a town council, the town council should have a West Nile Education Trust Fund marathon. People in Ajumani can have their marathon in Ajumani. People in Moyo can have their West Nile Education Trust Fund run in Moyo. Those in Obongi can do it in Obongi. Those in Madiokolo can do it in Madiokolo. Those in Zombo can do it in Zombo. Those in Nebi should be. the municipality, the two municipalities, Koboko and Nebi, really should also pick up from what ARUA City is doing. They are now next in queue. Therefore, Koboko really should help us light up that side, and Nebi should help us light. If people cannot travel all the way from Pakwach to ARUA, they can travel from Pakwach to Nebi. Those from Zombo can travel from Zombo to Nebi. Those from Maracha on the other side can travel to Koboko. Those from Yumbe can travel to Koboko. Let's have this moment to unite the region for this just cause, and I'll be happy to drum this call until that day of the run. As Tioke said, last time I think Capital One offered for us space. We are also appealing to all the entertainment centers across the region. They should register with us so that whatever they collect, they don't again use it. If they raise some monies in Koboko or whatever, after the run in the evening, let's go to the clubs and contribute that 10,000 and then send it to the trust fund account and call it a day. So thank you very much. May God bless you.
We'll now get to Honorable Ijiku, your closing remarks, and then Karo, if there's anything you add, you would probably say it before Ijiku comes in, because you also need to sign out. You need to sign out before he comes in, and then Professor Nguma will close it. The final thing is a photo, and we'll do a challenge today.
Ask company to support this cause by charging 1,000 on their ticket. On their ticket. So just imagine you are 50 people in a bus and you are 5 bus companies. You'll be talking 250 on a daily. Okay, it doesn't matter which direction. You are just taking 5, but I know there are more buses than that. Just taking 5. Okay, 50 people from each bus company have accepted to. It was supposed to be done willingly, that you pay 1,000 more on your ticket of 50 or 80 or whatever, and that goes to that cause. So that's one of the things that we've been thinking about. And if we talk to the proprietors and they think this is going to be another big way our people can support. The support of the bus company is important, but those individuals paying 1,000 are the real supporters of the cause. Okay? And it's a mass movement. Most of us use buses on these routes. So having 250 people contributing every day would mean a lot. Just for your information, by the way, my good doctor here, Professor Nguma, and Honorable are members of the Westnile Foundation. You may not know this. And in fact, Honorable Atiku is a founding member of the Education Trust Fund. He should have been, because of the level of involvement at that time, he should have actually been a member of the Board of Trustees. But we didn't make him a member of the Board of Trustees because he was a sitting MP at the time. Because we wanted to delink, we wanted to delink politics from this activity. In fact, at one time when I offered to myself to the people of ARUA sit here, I was going to drop off from the trust fund. So, but I stayed on. So the other members of the trust fund are Caroline Andama, I think she calls herself Caro Andama, and then we'll have our chairman, Drechabo Charles, and then we have James Nyakuni, and then we have co-opted more like now who are supposed to be members of the trust fund. We have a few legal issues to finish. Is Mzee Adukule. Mzee Adukule is normally the one who chairs our vetting committee for selection, and then we also have Mr. Simon who? Amanzuru, or the one of the bus company in Moyo? Zawadi. Yeah. And then we have John Toa, who is our legal officer. John Toa Bahemuka, son of Awuyo here in Buvura, who is our legal officer. And a number of people who have been really well-wishers and serving us well, plus offered pro bono services to Education Trust Fund to audit it from Andema, and I think company associates, so Andema Fred, but he's Fred, but yeah, his company is called Andema and Company Associates or something like that. And we have Babu Michael from Koboko, who has been instrumental in a lot of things we do. All these people want to see the success of this. So we want to encourage more people to join us so that when we go to Greater Madi, I want to see Simon and a number of other people leading the charge to mobilize for the run in that area. When we go to Koboko, we have these Babu Michaels, the Moros, leading the charge, and similarly in other places. So once again, I want to thank all of you and those who have been up here with me for giving you time. I know we've spent more than we should have to make this cause a just cause. So thank you and have a nice day.
Thank you. Honorable Jiku will help us welcome Professor because he's very close to you.
Yes, please. Professor, you're most welcome.
Thank you very much,
Close this office.
Robert, Honorable Carol, our representative of the sporting fraternity, of course TOK and the media. I have only one thing to say. A journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. Last year was the first step. There are quite a number of initiatives that we can explore to raise funds for supporting our children to school. So this was one of them. We started last year. I think we are on the right course. Though there were challenges which we have now really been educated about, let us learn from those challenges and fill those gaps and post a very successful event this year. I think our backbone in mobilization is you people, the media. It's you people, the media. I worked for Mbarara University of Science and Technology for 17 years. I've learned some Banyankole a bit. The Banyankole have a proverb which says, Amanigembaya Gargao Mgongo, which means the strength of a he-goat comes from the back. Now the strength of the success of this run comes from you people who are the back. There are people who have offered airtime for us, space for us. What I'm going to appeal to the media houses to do for us is, please don't just run this story today as a spot in your news lines. Some of you are responsible for, drafting the adverts. Why don't you just say this is a DJ mention, this is a passerby mention, whatever you call it. you put it there on daily basis. Capital FM has one which runs at 5. I don't know the name now.
Very good commentators.
Yes, and yeah, these are very good, wonderful people. Please, in your media houses, keep a mention of this particular event daily until my birthday on the 24th of December. That way, publicity will be excellently achieved. I think one of our challenges last year was not enough publicity. Let us have that done. Honorable Atiku, you were spot on. This was one of the biggest challenges. Some of the political colleagues thought that in their constituencies there were very few people sponsored or no person sponsored. Therefore, this is not something for them to waste time on. I think thinking that way is not right. Let us, growth is natural. It doesn't just explode exponential like that. Today it may be this district, tomorrow you never know, there may be 3 people at a go sponsored from your constituency. So I appeal to the politicians to support us in this just cause and campaign for the success of this forthcoming marathon. Otherwise, thank you very much for listening to us. Thank you for offering to help us in publicizing this event. And thank you very much, my colleagues up here, for speaking and answering adequately to the questions that were raised. I say all this for God and my country, and thank you.
Next is a photo shoot, and after photo shoot, we have breakfast set. Can have it before we go, and then the administrative announcements that will be off camera. We had a launch in Kampala on 22nd. We have a launch here today. Our kits will be in market or on market from the 1st of December. Your stories run today up to the run day. On the day of the run, we had emotional moments. The beneficiaries were speaking and they were crying. And those of you who just cover and don't come for the run, I think you missed that. That was an accountability that even a poor